some point we've got, are we teaching really street combat? The market for that, again, there's a few guys that want to do what Tyson does, but most people want to get in the gym and hit the bag. And I think that allows them to hit the bag.
And the other thing, don't think we call BAM's Family Kung Fu Center, so it's not called BAM's Point MMA Center. It's just something that I know it helped us through the recession. I realized people, wasn't really doing the Kung Fu. And then the flip side of it, the people that weren't really good with the fighting in Kung Fu because they didn't want to fight, this allowed me to reverse the psychology. So you weak on sparring, but we got a fight only class on, Thursday and whatever it may be. Everything that we do, there is a curriculum. We have a handbook. This is the bread and butter of our school. Point MMA, we meditate, we do all that. We have specific uniforms for every class. There's Kung Fu uniforms because we're a traditional Kung Fu school. There's kickboxing uniforms for all the kickboxing, and they get belts. There's street combat uniforms, and they get belts. There's Point MMA uniforms, and they get belts. So everything has a specific avenue of itself and an opportunity to brand, because I believe the one thing, too, that really helped with the Shark Tank was how we were dressed. It was our brand. How do we promote that brand? And working with Damon John and a couple of people, they really helped me to understand it a lot more. And one of the people that really helps us with that, now, everybody heard of Bold Look before?
Yeah.
Nice look, nice company?
Yeah.
You ever meet the person that used to work at Bold Look? Because he was a real rude guy, man. The president, if you ever see the president of Bold Look, let me know. Because I'm a Point MMA hand. Oh, there you go.
Yes, sir.
This is Mr. Jeff Bold, who used to be the president of Bold Look. And since we've been working together with all this stuff, this is my family. He believes in what we're doing, and he's really helping us springboard this forward. And he's going to talk a little bit more. What we're talking about the branding, Mr. Jeff.
Hi, I'm Jeff Bold, and I am Professor Bam's partner with Point MMA. I do all of the branding, all of the product, all the manufacturing. And as I sit back and watch this event and see groups come through, I mean, you see the guys from SOS, everyone is in the same uniform, branded very nicely. And when you go into karate schools, I travel the country a lot for work, and I spend a lot of time. I go into every CrossFit gym, I go into every martial arts school, I go into every dance studio, because I just like to see how people run and operate. And there is nothing that I hate worse than when I walk into a gym or a health club and I don't know who to talk to, because everyone's wearing the same stuff. Nobody looks uniform. Now, martial arts schools in general, everyone's wearing a uniform, so you can kind of pick out the instructors and the staff. But in a lot of other industries, that isn't common. And branding of your school and of your brand, because you are your brand. When someone signs up at your school, they're signing up because of you. Because the truth is, there's a guy 2 blocks that way, and 2 blocks that way, and 3 blocks that way, and the price is probably about the same everywhere, and the workout is probably about the same everywhere. And so when you go someplace, you're going because of that person. And so the brand that we convey with Point MMA is everyone is uniform. When you see one of our events, everyone is wearing all Point MMA. And the reason why that's great for you guys is it's a tremendous retail stream for your schools. Like Professor Bam said, when he teaches his Kung Fu class, everyone wears a Kung Fu uniform. When they do sparring, everyone uses the sparring gear. When they do street combat, everyone wears street combat. When they do Point MMA, everyone buys new Point MMA gear. No one's wearing their macho gear or Asian world gear to do Point MMA. They wear Point MMA gear. We make it mandatory at every event that in order to compete in Point MMA, you have to wear all of our equipment, because it gives a clean brand image, so that when people from the outside are looking, wow, look at that, everyone looks the same, everyone is uniform, everyone's wearing the same gear. There is no advantage, this guy's got this guy's got this. Everyone is on an equal playing field. And so for you guys as school owners, it's great because you say we're offering a new curriculum that supplements whatever you're doing. By no means are we saying you can't teach Taekwondo, you have to teach Point MMA. You can't teach Kung Fu, you have to teach Point MMA. What Professor Bam does is Point MMA is his sparring curriculum, but he teaches Kung Fu with it. So if you guys are traditional Okinawan style schools, that's great. You have your uniform for that. And then you know what? At 5 to 6 is Point MMA. Everybody go get changed. Put on your Point MMA gear. When you sign up for the class, this is your kit. You get your boxing glove, your MMA glove, your headgear, your shin guards, whatever you include in your kit. And that's it. And you make it very clean and simple. Everything is on the website. If you guys go on there, you can see all of the product. But when you become a licensee, that's something that we demand, is that you enforce that all of your students, when they take your class for Point MMA, they wear the Point MMA gear. And everything is turnkey. So if the glove's 20, you sell them for 40. If the headgear's 25, you sell it for 50. So you're doubling your money on everything that you do, and it's a very, very simple thing. The other thing that go ahead.
How many of you guys have when I say a house, I mean your school, where you allow people to wear other stuff other than your brand?
That's good.
Anybody allow you to, does any of you guys allow someone to come in with gear that's not your name on it? Can they buy other stuff?
Not often. It's even in my contract if they're supposed to wear it, but sometimes they get a deal online or something like that. I've already spent the money, so it's.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, same thing, we sell all the gear there, but like when their shin guards wear out and maybe they found a deal online right when they wore out and they bring them in, you don't fuss about it. But if it's not something that is comparable to what we have, I'll tell them straight up that it's not okay to wear that.
Yeah, because it's a revenue stream that you're missing. Good, I see most people that finally got on it.
Yeah.
4 years ago, they went online and bought from whoever that was out there. And you can't do that anywhere else. You go to McDonald's, you can't buy Pepsi. You got to get Coke. If you go to AMC Theater, they only sell Coke products. They don't say, nobody says, well, we're this house. And it took a lot of us a long time to realize that you can look at them and say, in my school, that's very nice stuff. But you're in my school now, you have to get my stuff. And the pitch on it is simply that may be great stuff, but I've checked this out. I know that it's safe, I know it lasts, I know this, I know that, and so therefore you can only wear that in my house. Now the only time we do that, we do it sometimes if somebody comes in from somebody else's school and the mom has bought all of that stuff, it's white, and all our guys are sitting there with the black gear, he can wear it. But it generally takes about a week before the kid looks around like, I'm the only guy here with the bones on mine, I want to get your stuff. So anybody who's not doing that, this is just but again, what I think you guys are taking it to another level, it's not just one uniform that you wear for everything. If you're going to spar, you have a uniform. If you're going to do forms, you have a uniform. If you're going to do this, you have a uniform. And folks may be in one school and they have 5 or 6 different workout outfits.
And you know what's interesting? I'm a student. He used to tell me to do all what I'm telling you now, and I wouldn't do it. Now my whole handbook, this handbook is what he taught me. So it ain't like I'm doing anything new. He used to tell me, make him wear equipment. I'm like, nah, I ain't wearing equipment. I'm a tournament champ. I want to wear what I want to wear. I didn't tell him that during that time. I'll get myself in trouble there. But in our handbook, when you join our school, this is our handbook. It says, must wear our equipment. If you walk into our school, he's seen it, and I get mad. Oh boy, they got to get me out the way. I'm like, where that equipment come from? How they got UFC in here? You better get it out there, get it all out. And what ends up happening, the beautiful thing about this too, when I went to open my own school and I had $20, guess what? I went to a community center called Fairlands Aquatic Center. In 3 months, I got 100 students. And I went and opened up the school that I own right now. After 20 years, I own the building. Guess how I got that school? I was charging $30 a month, but I was charging $250 for the whole equipment kit. That allowed me the money, the revenue stream that my instructor said, I don't know about you, I mean, sometimes that part of the money allows me to make payroll. Why they ain't got to mess with my EFC? There's a whole new, and I ain't promoting money, but I don't know about you, man, that's like a nice piece of residual income over there.
Are you telling me that if I was playing for Dallas, but I got cut, went to the Redskins, I can't take my gear over there?
Oh, no. Yeah.
I already got this stuff. I already got this stuff. I can't bring it from other team? No, you in my house now. You got to put on that's all I'm saying. Sometimes you have to, it sounds crazy, but you can't play for my team. You can't be at my school wearing, I still got guys from Mr. Kim's place up the street. Can I just wear it till it runs out? No. You can't wear his gear in my place. Once they understand it, it's another, again, amazing revenue stream.
And it's funny, I don't know about you, when I come to class, I match. I like sweat. I like my belt to be a certain way. I like my shoes to be a certain way. I like my t-shirts to be a certain way. Everything we do got something where a kid, when he walk to school, he can match it with his little, I don't know about you, but how many kids really include your t-shirt with their new Jordans going to school? How many of you got to really force them to wear your but come on, now let's take a step back. Let's look at some of the does it really look like something you would go out and like you put on a Michael Jordan jersey and you would represent that up and down the street? Most of the stuff don't, but everything in UFC do. Some Somebody told me Dana White was the smartest guy you ever met when it came down to branding. Why? You will never see nobody wearing nothing that doesn't say UFC. Everything, I don't care, it can be a toothpick. He gonna find a way to what? Put UFC on it. And that's what we're trying to do as an industry, to create a united front. Because even from making the sport aspect grow, why we talking traditional martial arts? Why won't Pepsi come in and sponsor the sport? It's confusing. You look at it, what is going on here? One time, Budweiser and all those people was in it. If you can get mainstream people to come into traditional martial arts and bring everything together like AAU and all that stuff, come on, man. You wouldn't even have to force the parent to want to join your school. It'll be like they going to a gym. It'll be a natural thing. And you got to believe it. Nobody believed that UFC would be as big as it is right now. Nobody. I didn't believe that I would have a school right now. I didn't believe I would be on the star of one of the best TV shows in the world, starring with the best people on the planet, Shannon Lee. But guess what? I did. And that's what we got to do as an industry. We got to believe that we can bring the traditional martial arts forward with a modern approach. And this is our concept. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, no, I wanted to go back 1 second. You know, like I said, I have been in a million karate schools, and I have not seen many that run like his school. You know, I was an instructor. I come from a school where it was kids class at 3, kids class at 4, kids class at 5, teen class at 6, adults class at 7, and we had, you know, a couple hundred kids and 10 adults. And it was, oh, well, you know, my kid's at home and I have to do this. And when I walked into his school and I see the parents and the kids at the same time, I'm like, that is genius. Because the parent can't say it's inconvenient. I don't have time to make it. You know, it's like, no, your kid is right there. Instead of you sitting in this chair, you're going to work out right there. And then in 45 minutes, you're both done and you leave. And I don't know why I'd never seen that before, honestly. And I've been in a lot of schools. And that concept to me was so awesome because it takes away every rebuttal that every parent could ever have for why they can't bring their kid to class, why they can't work out. It's, oh no, well, I can come to adult class at 8. Okay, great, bring your kid. They'll do a class at the same time. Or I can bring my kid at 3. Okay, great. Well, your class will be at 3. And you know, like his school is balanced between adults and kids, which again, as far as I know, in our industry is very unusual. You know, it's usually very kids heavy and very adult thin, and especially teens. And just offering that kind of class where it's high energy and it's cardio driven and it's a great workout and the parents and the kids are doing it at the same time, I mean, it's such a great concept.
And one thing, he's pretty humble. He might be talking, y'all know him from Bulldog, but everybody know in EFC, there was one school, it was the first school to have over 500 students. What school was that?
Will Mayer.
Before him,
United.
Greg Silver. Greg Silver, and he used to do that. He used to be the instructor that ran that school. Bold Look was established from that whole core element, and he was behind all of that. So he's not just he is a black belt. He was on the team when they were competing all over the country and killing everybody in competition. So he do bring more than just he don't say that. I have to get him to like, come on, man, you're a black belt. Pull that belt out the closet and get working. So he back in to work it out and all that stuff. So his passion keeps our passion going, and I think that's what everybody see. His passion. I want to carry on my instructor's legacy. People don't have to like what I say. I do. My instructor was one of the best fighters, best forms people, you know, in the country. It would be a disservice to my instructor and to the martial arts of Billy Blanks and all those people that saved my life to not bring about something that can help the next generation to be a guy like me. If a guy like me can be right here talking to you, and he never gave up winning, that's going to make me, always do that.
All right, that's all right.
That's what real teaching is all about. If you really care about that kid, give him a tool that's going to help him when you ain't nowhere around. When peer pressure is really cranking down on him, and he can't call nobody, he got to figure out by himself. And that's what we got to do. All that other stuff is a byproduct, and that's what we're trying to do here. And I believe and I know we're going to do it. I bet my heart that it's going to do it because I see it happening with my kids. And he did it for me. And if I can get this man to leave his dad's company, to believe in this dream, to go along with us, quitting's not an option, man. No. So, and if you don't believe in it, come and see some of the competitions. When you watch the video, you'll see my son in action. I believe if you're instructing somebody coming to your class, I mean, how many people ever taught an intro and the guy came in and you could sense that he's challenging you? He can sense that you really ain't got, you